Question number 17. Sun Moon Mutual Fund sponsored open-ended equity-oriented scheme Chanakya Opportunity Fund. There were three plans. That is, Plan A, dividend reinvestment plan, B is bonus plan, and C is growth plan. So there are three plans: dividend reinvestment plan, bonus plan, and growth plan. At the time of initial public offer on 1/4/1999, Mr. Anand, Mr. Bachchan, and Ms. Charu, three investors, invested 1 lakh each and chose B, C, and A plans respectively. Next, the history of the fund is as follows. Okay, so we have dates, we have dividend payout percentages, and we have bonus ratio, and we have NAV per unit where the face value is 10, and we have for all the plans, plan A, plan B, and plan C. So for dividend plan, we need to consider this column, right? And for bonus plan, we need to consider this column. And with respect to NAVs, this is for dividend reinvestment, this is for bonus, and this is for growth. On 31st, okay, so we have the data till 31/7/2009. On 31st July, all three investors redeemed all the balance units. Okay. So on 31st July means 31st July 2009. Calculate annual rate of return to each of the investors. And for this we need to consider that long-term capital gain is exempt from tax. Short-term capital gain is subject to 10% income tax. Security transaction tax, that is STT, is 0.2% only on sale or redemption of units. Ignore education cess. 17. Mrs. Charu, dividend reinvestment plan. Date, units as on this date. Then we'll have dividend payout percentage, dividend percent. Then it is investment. This is in rupees. New units and closing units. 1/4/1999. How many units were there at that point in time? The opening balance is nil. Any dividend payment? It is not applicable. Investment? It is 1 lakh. So, considering that face value is 10, what will be the units purchased? It is 1 lakh by 10, that is 10,000. Right? Closing units will be 10,000. If you see, we have the list of dates here and we have the dividend payout percentages. So we will plot them first. 28/7/2003, it is 20%. 28/7/2003, it is 20%. Next, 31/3/2004, it is 70%. 31/3/2004, it is 70%. Next, 31/10/2007, 40%. 31/10/2007, 40%. 15/3/2008, 25%. 15/3/2008, 25%. 24/3/2009, 40%. 24/3/2009, 40%. Right? Okay. Now, what is the opening balance as on 28/7/2003? It is 10,000. Right? So, 10,000. What is the dividend percentage? It is 20%. 20% of 10 is 2. So 2 into 10,000 will be the dividend reinvestment, right? So it is 20,000. What is the NAV here? At that point in time, it is 30.7, right? Here it is 10. Here it is 30.7, right? So 20,000 by 30.7 will give us 651.47. 651.47. So the closing units will be 10651.47. And the opening units as on 31/3/2004 will be 10651.47. Now, what is the dividend percentage? It is 70%. That means per unit 7 rupees is the dividend, right? So 7 into 10651.47 will give us 74560. That is the dividend reinvestment. 74560. And what is the NAV? It is 58.42. 58.4. So, how many new units will be purchased? 74560 by 58.42. It is 1276.28. 1276.28. This plus closing units, that is 10651.47. It will give us 11927.75. 11927.75. So the opening unit as on 31/10/2007 will be 11927.75. Now what is the dividend percentage? Is 40%. That is 4 per unit. So 11927.75 into 4 will give us what is the dividend reinvestment? That is 47711. This divided by NAV. What is the NAV? It is 42.18. 42.18 divided by 42.18. That is 1131.13. 1131.13058.88. Right? Next. 15/3/2008. What is the opening balance? It is 13058.88. Now what is the dividend payment? It is 25%. That means 2.5 rupees per unit. So 13058.88 into 2.5. This is 32647. 647. This is the reinvestment. Now what is the NAV? NAV is 29. Sorry, NAV is 46.45. 46.45. So 32647 divided by 46.45 will give us the number of units purchased out of dividends received. So it is 702.85. 702.85. So what is the closing units now? 702.85 plus 13058.88. That is 13761.73. 13761.73. And here the opening balance will again be 13761.73. So now the dividend percentage is 40%. That means 4 per unit. So 13761.73 into 4 will give us the dividend reinvestment. That is 55047. Now what is the NAV at that point in time? It is 48.1. So 48.1. So 55047 by 48.1 will give us new units, that is 1144.43, and the total units will be 1144.43 plus 13761.73, that is 14906.16. This is the closing units, right? Now we need to compute his annual rate of return, right? We will do that now. Redemption value, right? That is, it is 53.75. 53.75 into 14,906.16 units. Right. Now, less security transaction tax at 0.2%. Right. Less short term capital gain tax at 10%. Net of tax. Less investment. This will be return. So what is redemption value? It is 53.75 into 14,906.16. That is 801,206 rupees 801,206. And what is 0.2% on it? It is 801,206 into 0.2 by 100. That is 1602 rupees 1602. Right. Now, short term capital gain tax at 10%. So, this will be 10% into. So, on what all units will short term capital gain tax apply? Only on these units. Right. Rest all it is long term capital gain. Right. 10% on number of units is 1144.43 into what is the gain? The redemption value is 53.75 and you have to consider net of security transaction tax and you have to subtract the cost value, right? So what is the redemption value? Rupees 53.75. If I want to find out net of STT, it should be into 1 minus 0.2%, right? Minus what is the cost price? That is 48.1, right? So this will be rupees 634, right? And here investment is 1 lakh, right? Now we will calculate net amount received, net of tax amount and return generated. So what is 801,206 minus 1602? That is 799,604. 799,604. This minus 634 will give us rupees 798,970. 798,970. This minus 1 lakh will give us rupees 698,970. Therefore, annual return is equal to, what is the return? It is rupees 698,970 by rupees 1 lakh. This is the return. So, what is the period of investment? From 1/4/1999 to 31/7/2009. So from 1/4/1999 to 33/1999 will be 10 years, that is 120 months, right? So after that we have April, May, June and July. So we have 4 more months. So it is 124 months, right? So this return is for 124 months. We want it for 12 months. So into 12 by 124. This is nothing but that is 67.64%. 67.64%. So annual return to Ms. Charu, who invested in the dividend reinvestment plan, will be 67.64%. Now we will go to bonus plan. Question 17. Mr. Anand bonus date units bonus new units closing units 141999. So the opening units is nil, bonus is nil, new units is 1 lakh by 10, that is 10,000, closing units is 10,000, right? Next, we will list down all the dates where bonus was given. So next is 31 3 2004. 31 3 2004. What is the bonus ratio? 5 is to 4. Next, 31 3 2008. 1 is to 3. 31 3 2008. 1 is to 3. Next, 24 3 2009. 24 3 2009. 1 is to 4. 1 is to 4. Now we will calculate the opening units, the units issued, and the closing units in each of these dates. Okay, so here it is 10,000, that is the closing unit. So the opening unit here it will be 10,000. So there are 10,000 units and 5 shares for every 4 shares are issued. That means 5 by 4 into 10,000, that is 12,500 new units are issued. So the total will be 22,500. So the opening balance on 31 3 2008 will be 22,500. Here 1 for every 3 units are issued. That means 22,500 into 1 by 3, that is 7,500. So the total units will be 30,000, right? So the opening units will be 30,000 on 24 3 2009, and 1 for every 4 units are issued, that is 30,000 by 4, that is 7,500. So the closing units on 24/03 2009 will be 37,500 units. Redemption. What is the NAV on 31st July 2009? Rupees 22.98. 22.98 into 37,500 less security transaction tax at 0.2%. Net amount received less short term capital gain tax at 10%. Net of tax less investment return, right? Okay, now we will find out what is the return generated. So what is 22.98 into 37,500? It is 861,750 rupees. 861,750. What is 0.2% on it? Into 0.2 by 100, that is 1723.5. So we will write 1724 rupees. 1724. Next, investment is 1 lakh. What is short term capital gain tax? It is 10% on how many units? Only these 7,500 units will qualify for short term capital gain tax. Rest all it is long term capital gain, right? So 10% of 7,500 units into what is NAV at that point in time? It is 22.98 into 1 minus 0.2% minus institute material shows cost of acquisition of these bonus units to be 19.95. So we will follow that, right? So it is rupees So it is rupees 19.95. Now we will calculate what is the short-term capital gain tax. It is 2238, right? Now we will find out net amount received, net of tax and return generated. So what is 861750 minus 1724? It is 860026. This minus short-term capital gain tax, that is 2238, that is 857788 rupees 857788. This minus 1 lakh, that is rupees 757788 is the return generated. Therefore, annual return is rupees 757788 by rupees 1 lakh into 12 by 124, that is 757788 by 1 lakh into 12 by 124, that is 73.33%. 73. Now let us see what is the return in case of growth plan. Mr. Bachchan growth plan. Directly we will compute what is the annual return. Okay. Redemption value, that is rupees, what is NAV? 82.07. 82.07 into how many units? It will be the same. He invested 1 lakh and at that point in time the face value was 10 and at 10 rupees per unit only he invested. That means 1 lakh by 10, that is 10,000 units he'll have. 10,000, right? So 82.07 into 10,000 will give us 820,700 rupees, 820,700 less security transaction tax at 0.2%. So 0.2% on this 820,700 is 1641.4. 1641, right? That is 820,700 minus 1641, that is rupees 819059 less short term capital gain tax at 10%. So is there any short term capital gain tax? No, he is holding those units from 1/4 to 1999, that is almost more than 10 years. So it is long term capital gain, right? So short term capital gain tax at 10%, it will be nil, 0. So what is net of tax? Net of tax, it is rupees 819059. What is the investment? It is rupees 1 lakh. So return is 819059 minus 1 lakh, that is 719059. Therefore, annual return in this case is rupees 719059 divided by 1 lakh into 12 by 124, that is 719059 by 1 lakh into 12 by 124. It is 69.59%. 69.59%. So this is the solution to the problem. Let us see question number 18. A mutual fund company introduces two schemes, that is dividend plan and bonus plan. The face value of unit is rupees 10. On 1/4/2005, Mr. K invested 2 lakh each in plan D and plan B when the NAV was rupees 38.2 and 35.6 respectively. Both the plans matured on 31/3/2000 10. Particulars of dividend and bonus declared over the period are as follows. Okay. This is dates, this is dividend, and this bonus ratio, and NAV for plan D and for plan B are given. Okay. Next. What is the effective yield per annum in respect of above two plans? Okay, this is very simple. It is just like problem number 17 with no growth plan scenario, right? So we will skip this problem. Skip.